The victimhood mentality has become commonplace in modern day Hollywood, to the point where you have so many people that try to speak out about the inequities in Hollywood. We're seeing all these rule changes for the Oscars or for writing rooms or things like this. You got to include a certain percentage of this person or that person or that person just to check off a box. And all too often you see sometimes big name people in Hollywood, actors and actresses, come out and say, you know, I really think I'm treated unfairly because of my gender or because of the color of my skin. It couldn't possibly be any other reason to exist why I might not get paid as much as this other person I'm working with. So it's refreshing when someone comes out and says the exact opposite. Well, Ghostbusters star Ernie Hudson has said exactly that. Despite the mainstream media trying to get him to blame things in his career on racism, he unequivocally denies it. Instead of taking the bait, he turns it right around back on them. Ghostbusters star Ernie Hudson talks inequitable treatment and pay disparity. It's not quite that simple to blame racism. Now, he also gave a couple comments about the 2016 Ghostbusters thing, stuff like that, but I really wanted to focus on the story that he told about how he got into Ghostbusters, his career, and how he refused to take the media's bait when it comes to blaming everything that happened to him because he's black. Ghostbusters star Ernie Hudson rejects the idea that being black led to his reduced role in the first film, says it's very tempting sometimes to blame anything that doesn't work in your life on racism, but it's not quite that simple. Now, he tells a story that people have known about for a while, that originally they were actually looking at Eddie Murphy to play his character. And then things changed. Ernie Hudson got offered the role. It ended up being pared down a decent amount because the studio loved Bill Murray so much they wanted to give him more stuff to do. And really, it was all because Eddie Murphy decided that he was going to prioritize Beverly Hills Cop and just didn't have time for filming of Ghostbusters. But obviously, Ernie Hudson comes in about halfway through that movie, does have a reduced role. It's not like he's there from the very beginning or anything like that. So when asked about that, it got very interesting. It was in reference to this debacle that when pressed following the premiere of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire as to whether he thought racism played a crucial part in the shrinking of both his role in the film and his paycheck, Hudson sought to make it clear he found that entire line of argument to be reductive. You know, being a person of African descent anywhere in the world, we're all just learning how to live together and get along together and realize we're all connected, said Hudson. And it's very tempting sometimes to blame anything that doesn't work in your life on racism. But there are a lot of things that play into it. It's not quite that simple. We could say it's a racial thing, but I think if Eddie Murphy had played the role I played, he would have been paid very well, he further argued. I think studios are in the business of making money, and they pay what they feel they have to. And that is simple, common sense, and not playing the fucking victim. That's what we see all the time. When you hear about the gender pay gap in Hollywood, where people are complaining that they didn't make as much in a movie as Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, guess what? Usually, the person acting opposite of Leonardo DiCaprio probably isn't as big of a draw as him. There might be a reason that he's getting paid more to be in this movie. In the same way that if a mid-tier white actor is acting with Denzel Washington, there's a decent chance that Denzel Washington gets paid a lot more fucking money than he does because Denzel is probably a bigger draw. That's how it works. In the same way that Ernie Hudson, at that point in his career, Eddie Murphy absolutely would have been a big time draw back in the 80s compared to Ernie Hudson. And it's just so refreshing to hear somebody that's not constantly trying to play the fucking victim because of their skin color, because of their gender, whatever it may be. A lot of these people in Hollywood, a lot of these big time actors and actresses, they'll bitch and moan because they think they're being held back in some way when reality is staring them straight in the face. Sometimes people get paid more than other people because they're better at their jobs. They're bigger draws. There's a lot of different reasons. It's not always because of racism or sexism. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.